Welcome to How Leaders Lead. I'm Kula Callahan here with David Novak to bring you another edition of 3 More Questions. David, it's great to see you. I'm excited about our conversation today. We're talking about your conversation with Scott Harrison. He's the founder and CEO of Charity Water.
Yeah, I can't wait to dig into that because he's quite an interesting leader. But first, I got to tell you, I love that fireplace in the background. That's like, hey, it's getting to be a little chillier these days, and you know what? Winter is coming, as they say.
It sure is, and it's 4:27 p.m. and almost pitch black dark outside. So
Yeah.
you got to keep the vibes high at the home office.
There you
when
go.
It's wintertime.
All right, let's talk about Scott and the great job he's doing at Charity Water.
It really is insane to think about all the work they've done at Charity Water. I mean, this is a guy who was a club promoter in New York City for a very long time and then kind of had this seminal moment where he realized that he didn't want to smoke cigarettes and drink for the rest of his life. And so
And more.
ever since
more.
That's right. I mean, in the episode, when you listen to it, you'll hear, but the stats around the number of people on this planet who do not have access to clean drinking water is so staggering. And the ripple effect that causes in these communities is just devastating. So Scott's life's work is to never stop until every person on the planet gets clean drinking water. And he really is an innovative leader, David, and I'm excited to talk about some of the concepts that you two discuss in our 3 questions for today. During your interview with Scott, like literally right as you were speaking with him, Charity Water had just reached the incredible milestone of raising $1 billion. And when you asked Scott about it, he said, I feel like we haven't done enough. Now, $1 billion is a whole lot and a milestone that a lot of leaders would celebrate and kind of take a step back to really appreciate. But he's still thinking, man, we haven't done enough. David, I'm curious from your perspective, what can leaders learn from this mindset of continuous striving even after achieving such significant success?
Well, first of all, I think Scott really did have a great appreciation for how far they had come. And I think they definitely celebrated internally the fact that they reached $1 billion in funds raised for this great cause. So, I think as a leader, you definitely want to celebrate the first downs and certainly the big achievements that you really drive with your team. And at the same time, I think the great joy of any business is the unfinished business. What's yet to be done. And I think that the best leaders have what I always talk about, which is this healthy dissatisfaction with the status quo. They want to get better and better and better and better. And they figure out what needs to be done, and they work at it every single day. So, I really like Scott's mindset because it was sort of like, as Jim Collins would say, it had the magic of the and. Have a great appreciation for what you've accomplished, and at the same time, have that magic of really knowing that there's just so much more to be done. And that's the fun of it all, isn't it?
It really is. And I think, in Scott's line of work, like the statistics of the unfinished business are so significant and kind of in your face when you're doing this work every day, all day. So I think it was so inspiring for me to hear about the fact that, yes, they have gotten to this 1 billion number. And also they're not even a quarter of the way there in terms of the amount of people they want to impact.
Well, he's very other directed, and he's seen it firsthand. He's been out in the field. He's one of these leaders that doesn't just sit in a corporate office. I mean, he's been out there. He's seen what happens when you don't have clean water. You die. You have disease. You have all these things that none of us would want to have, and it's just because we also take what he's trying to make happen around the world for granted, which is clean water. I mean, when was the last time you thought about having clean water in Nashville as an issue? No, I mean, it certainly isn't a problem in Louisville. It's not a problem in the United States. And when it is, right? I think in Flint, Michigan, remember there was some sort of water issue there. I mean, it was national news for weeks, and just think about the news that's really out there for all the unfortunate people that don't have clean water. I mean, it's really drastic, and he knows it, and he's going after it. And I'm glad we have a great leader like him leading the charge.
Question number two. Charity Water was founded on the principle of proving exactly where donor contributions go. So they leverage technology to use real time reporting to literally show donors the impact of their support and bringing clean water to those in need. How can leaders apply this approach of transparency and trust by integrating these same types of feedback loops into their businesses?
I think it's very important that when whatever your project is, you have check-in points. You know, and as a leader, you make sure your people have check-in points where they can come back and let you know what they're doing or how they're doing, and you can provide them the support that they need. That feedback loop is very good because it really it gives people the support they need, and b it leads to no surprises. One of the big frustrations that I think leaders have a lot of time is when they let people go off and work on the project, and then they find out what that person has been doing, and it's antithetical to what they would have been doing, and then you have a real miscommunication, and you don't want that to happen. In the nonprofit world, I just love what he's doing because, as someone who wants to make a difference in the world, and you want to give money to the people that are really doing great things, the biggest fear you have is that the money that you give goes to some, deep dark hole that you don't know where it goes to. And I loved how he separated the operating expenses from helping the people. And that was really a great way to think about it. So, he let everybody know, look, these are my operating expenses. You need to help me cover that. Anything that moves beyond that goes straight to the people. And he was clear on defining those two pieces of pie. And, I think it was quite exceptional how he's done that.
And I mean, from the jump, too, he started the organization with this concept in mind. I can't remember exactly the stat, but it's something like 7 out of 10 people think that when they donate money to a charity, it just goes into a black hole. So he knew that to mobilize a ton of people around this idea of clean water, he would have to be unbelievably clear from the very beginning so that there is no question that every cent anyone gave to charity water would go directly to the field.
See, he brings an entrepreneurial mindset. It's like every entrepreneur we've talked to on this show. What do they talk about doing? Solving the most important problem that occurs most frequently. And, he understood what the problems were, and then he immediately created ways to deal with those problems, to give people the confidence that they could invest in charity water and make a difference in the world. And that's exactly what he's doing.
Question number three. At Yum Brands, your noble cause was to become the defining global brand that feeds the world. Can you share a story about the work that you did at Yum to address food insecurity across the world?
Yeah, it was our big noble cause that we had, was to be this defining global company, and we defined it in three ways. Number one, we wanted to be renowned for the way how we recognize people and have fun doing it, and getting great results because of it. And the renowned part there, Kula, is that when we first started our company, we best practiced all the great companies. We wanted people to come to us and learn how we did it, not only in the United States but all around the world. The second thing is we wanted to build vibrant brands wherever we do business. We wanted to have talked about advertising, talked about products, talked about service, but we really wanted to make that happen. But the third thing is that we had had so much success as a company, we felt that we could go even deeper than than just focusing on our own business and our own brands. And we wanted to help people who couldn't afford our food get food. And so what we did, and this was an effort led by Jonathan Blum, our head of corporate affairs. He identified the World Food Program as a partnership that we could link up with the World Food Program, and really use our infrastructure, because we're in like over 110 countries now, and now we're in about 150 countries, but use our infrastructure to build awareness of the hunger issue around the world. And number two, raise money in our stores that could help feed the hungry around the world. And it was one of the most motivational things that we did in our company when I was there, because people just absolutely loved helping other people. And one of the things I love to do with my executive team every year is we'd pick a country and we go and see the World Food Program in action. Like we go to Guatemala and see how people would hike, 10 miles just to get the food from the World Food Program. It was really, really inspirational. But we knew we were doing well, and every one of our teams around the world, knew we were doing good for other people, and really got motivated to help their piece of yum, make a difference in the world. And I think that was a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, but it was something that we got great reward from. And more importantly, we helped a lot of people get food that needed to have food.
I love it. It's so good. What really I feel like has made Scott successful as a leader in this space is his ability to apply what you love, David, pattern thinking to his business. So he says in the episode, like, I'm not reading Philanthropy Chronicle. I'm reading things like Inc. Magazine and Fast Company and seeing what all of these technology companies are doing to innovate and to provide more real time reporting to their people. And I just love how he has taken what's working in industries so outside of the work he's doing, applied it to the work he's doing, and has seen so much success.
Yeah, thank God for people like Scott Harrison and his team for all they do to help people who really need the help.
Well, David, that does it for our episode of 3 More Questions for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to How Leaders Lead. We're on a mission to make the world a better place by developing better leaders. And if you carve out a little time with us each and every week, we'll help you build the confidence you need to lead well.
Well, you want to talk about a big reversal here. We're moving from talking about having clean water to next week on How Leaders Lead. We're going to be talking to Jenny Britton. She is the guru of ice cream. She is an ice cream savant, and she is the founder of Jenny's Ice Creams. And let me tell you something, they are great if you haven't had them. It's an incredible brand, and she's done an amazing job building it. And I think you will really love this podcast.